In David Goggins' style, you want to change your life. You want to become someone that no one believed you could be. Then stop waiting for a crowd. Stop begging for backup. There's a place where warriors are built, not in comfort, not in noise, but in solitude. That's where it starts. That's where you do it alone. You weren't born with an army. You were born with a mind, a body, and a fire deep down that's waiting to be lit. This is not about being the strongest in the room. This is about being strong when the room is empty. You don't need backup. You don't need praise. You don't need anyone to believe in you but you. This is your war. This is your life. You want to become something greater, then earn it in silence, hustle in the shadows, suffer without applause. Grow in the pain, and when the world sees who you become, they'll have no choice but to respect the one who did it alone. The grind doesn't need an audience, let me break it down for you. You think this journey is about Instagram posts and applause, about likes and followers. You think it's about someone telling you good job after every damn rep. No, this grind isn't for show. It's not for the claps. It's not for the praise. The grind is for you, and only you. You want to become someone unstoppable. Then you've got to start operating in silence. You've got to build in the dark, when nobody sees what you're doing. When it's cold, when it's early, when it's hard. That's when you clock in. That's when you get after it. Most people are addicted to being seen. They're in love with recognition, not with the process, and that's why they stay average. They need a crowd to keep going. They need someone watching to lift the damn weight, but the moment the crowd disappears, so does their effort. They're just actors, pretenders, mask on, mask off, but the grind doesn't care who's watching. It doesn't care if your friends ghosted you. It doesn't care if no one reposts your progress. What matters is whether you show up, every day, without fail, without needing a damn pat on the back. The real work happens when no one is there to validate it. You get better when you train in the dark, when you run through the pain by yourself, when your legs are shaking and there's no coach yelling at you. But you still push. That's the zone where beasts are built. That's the zone where discipline grows. That's the zone you need to find, and you won't find it in a crowd. Because let's be honest, anybody can perform when it's easy, when the lights are on, when the music's blasting. But what happens when the gym is empty? What happens when the alarm goes off at 4 a.m. and you're sore, tired, mentally broken? And nobody's gonna know whether you showed up or not. You show up anyway. That's what separates the elite from everyone else. The decision to grind without witnesses, the courage to suffer with no recognition, the hunger to improve even when nobody will ever see it. You can fake it in public, but you can't fake the hours you didn't put in when you were alone. That's what life checks. That's what pain exposes. You can't hide when adversity punches you in the face. The question is, did you prepare? Did you grind in the shadows when it didn't count? And if you didn't, that pain will show. That truth will surface, and no social media post is gonna save you from the fact that you quit when it got quiet. Here's the truth. There's a certain power that comes from doing it by yourself. A certain pride that comes from knowing that you didn't need approval. You didn't need applause. You just showed up, day after day, bleeding, grinding, sweating in silence. That power, that pride, it can't be bought. It can't be taught. It has to be earned, and the ones who earn it, they're unshakable. They're untouchable because they don't need anyone's permission to chase greatness. They don't wait for hype to start working. They just work every damn day, alone, with purpose, with fire. So if you're sitting around waiting for someone to validate you, wake up. Stop whining. Stop begging for someone to push you. Be your own push. Be your own standard. If you can't grind without eyes on you, you don't want it bad enough. This path is lonely, and it's meant to be. Because greatness was never supposed to be a group effort. You don't level up in comfort. You don't transform in applause. You do it in sweat, pain, and solitude. The grind doesn't need an audience. It needs heart. It needs guts. And most of all, it needs consistency when no one's clapping. That's the test. That's the truth. You ready to be real with yourself? Then shut out the noise, block out the world, and grind when it's just you and the work? That's how legends are made. The world owes you nothing, listen up. There's a lie the world keeps feeding you, and most people swallow it whole. That lie says you deserve something. That because you've suffered, because you've struggled, because you've tried, you're owed a reward. That's garbage, the truth. The world doesn't owe you a damn thing. You can cry, you can complain, you can scream at the sky, asking why life is so hard. But guess what? Life doesn't care. Pain doesn't care. Time doesn't care. While you're sitting there waiting for a break, waiting for someone to save you, time keeps moving. The world keeps spinning, and the ones who take ownership, they keep rising. Nobody's coming. That's the mindset you need to tattoo on your soul. You think life is unfair. It is. You think it's harder for you than it is for others. Maybe, but so what? What are you gonna do with that? Curl up and quit. Or grind harder than everyone around you. Let's get one thing clear. Your pain isn't special. Your excuses aren't unique. Everybody's got demons. Everybody's been hurt. Everybody's had a rough hand dealt to them at some point. The difference between the ones who rise and the ones who stay stuck. Ownership. You've got to stop waiting for life to hand you something. No one's gonna knock on your door and give you the dream. No one's handing out greatness like candy. You've got to take it with blood, with sacrifice, with ruthless consistency. You want success, it's rented, and the rent is due every damn day. And if you miss a payment, you're back at square one. That's how this works. And the landlord of success, he doesn't care how tired you are. He doesn't care about your backstory. He wants the work, that job you didn't get, that opportunity that passed you by. That wasn't unfair. That was life showing you that you haven't earned it yet. So go earn it, with sweat, with hours, with obsession. Most people walk around like the world owes them a prize for showing up, like the universe should feel bad for them. They think because they've suffered, someone else should carry their weight. But let me tell you something, no one is carrying your weight but you. You want freedom, you want power, then carry it, all of it. Alone, you've got to become your own motivation, your own engine, your own accountability partner. Nobody's gonna do the push-ups for you. Nobody's gonna fight your battles. It's you versus you every damn day. And the sooner you accept that, the faster you'll rise. You don't need more time. You don't need better luck. You don't need people to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself enough to stop negotiating with weakness. You need to wake up, look in the mirror, and tell yourself, the world owes me nothing, and I'm still gonna win. There's power in that. When you let go of entitlement, when you stop playing the victim, you tap into something real, something raw, something unstoppable, because then every win is yours. Every inch you gain, you earned it. Not because someone gave it to you, but because you took it, because you refused to quit. You want a different life. Build it, brick by brick, tier by tier. Don't expect applause. Don't wait for permission. Don't look for shortcuts. Just put in the damn work again and again and again. And when you finally break through, when you finally reach the place where people said you'd never go, you'll look back and realize, I did this, I earned this, I wasn't owed a thing, but I showed up anyway. And that's what makes it real. That's what makes it powerful. You want peace, earn it. You want freedom, earn it. You want to be a savage in a world full of softness. Then stop waiting for what you're owed. Because you're owed nothing. But if you're willing to take everything through work, through discipline, through pain, you'll become something no one can stop. Solitude builds savages. Let me tell you something that most people are too scared to admit. Being alone is where the real transformation happens, not when you're surrounded by comfort, not when you've got a cheerleading squad in your corner, but when it's just you, raw, exposed, with nothing to fall back on but your own willpower. Most people fear solitude because in solitude, there's nowhere to hide. The distractions are gone. The noise is gone. It's just you vs. you. That's where the real war begins. That's where most people break, because they can't face the truth about themselves. But if you want to become something savage, something that can't be broken, then you've got to embrace the solitude. When you're alone, you meet the real version of yourself, the one behind the fake confidence, behind the filters, behind the highlight reel. You meet the weak voice that tells you to quit. You meet the coward that avoids pain. You meet the lazy part of your soul that wants comfort more than greatness. And that's good, because now you know who the enemy is, and it's not the haters, it's not your past, it's not your circumstances. It's you. Solitude is the battlefield. It's where warriors are forged, not in the noise, but in the silence. It's where you train your mind to keep going when there's no one left to tell you that you're doing a good job. It's where you push yourself to the edge, and when your body says, "We're done," you find that next level anyway. You think savage mentality comes from comfort, from group therapy and soft hands. No. It comes from sitting in your pain, alone, with no one there to rescue you. It comes from crying with no one watching, from breaking down in the middle of a workout, from fighting every demon in your head, and getting back up, scarred but stronger. This world is addicted to community, to groupthink, to being accepted, but greatness lives outside the group. It lives in the shadows. It lives in the garage when everyone's at the party. It lives on the track in the rain when no one else showed up. It lives in your discipline when nobody's clapping. You've got to learn to be your own coach, your own motivator, your own competition. Stop looking around, comparing yourself to others. Stop waiting for someone to challenge you. Challenge yourself. Set standards so high they terrify you, then attack them alone. People want accountability partners. They want to be held by the hand. They want support. But savages don't wait for support. They move, they act. They get up and get after it. And they do it when no one's looking. You've got to get addicted to solitude. Because in solitude, you build the mental calluses that separate you from the rest. You build the ability to suffer without complaining. You build the ability to execute without attention. And when the pressure's on, when the lights finally hit, you're ready. Because you've already suffered in the dark. Nobody can take that from you. The work you put in alone, that's yours. It's sacred. And when life tries to break you, you won't fold. Because you've already been through worse, alone. This is what people don't get. Solitude doesn't make you weak. It makes you invincible. Because once you've trained yourself to be relentless without support, without praise, without comfort, then nothing can stop you. Not failure, not pain, not loss. Because you've already faced the darkness and you didn't run. You want to win in life. Start doing hard shit by yourself. Go run in the rain. Go train when no one's coming. Go sit with your demons and confront them instead of escaping them. That's where your edge lives. That's where your hunger grows. You don't need a crowd. You don't need motivation. You don't need people telling you, you got this. You got this because you said so. You got this because you put in the work alone. Solitude is the proving ground. And if you can learn to love it, if you can learn to thrive in it, you'll become something this world isn't ready for. You'll become a savage. Discipline starts when you're left with nothing. Let me tell you the truth. They don't teach in schools. They don't post on social media. And they don't tell you in motivational videos. Discipline doesn't start when things are going well. Discipline doesn't show up when you're winning. It shows up when you've got nothing. When your body's wrecked. When your heart's broken. When your bank account is empty. when nobody believes in you, when the plan fell apart. That's when discipline stands up. That's when it walks through the fire, looks you in the eyes, and asks one question: you still in this or not? Most people collapse when they're left with nothing. They treat struggle like a signal to quit. They treat setbacks like stop signs. But the savages, the ones who can't be killed, they treat pain as a launch pad. They treat rock bottom like solid ground. They look around and say, okay, all I've got is pain. Let's build from here. See, anybody can be disciplined when the fridge is full, and the gym is bright, and the compliments are flowing. That's easy. That's not discipline. That's convenience in disguise. But when the alarm hits at 4 a.m. and your legs feel like concrete, when the bills are due and you've got no answers, when you're limping through life with no applause, no guidance, and no safety net, that's when the real ones show up. That's when warriors are born. Discipline is the voice inside you that says, I don't give a damn how I feel. I don't care what I've lost. I will still show up. I will still suffer. I will still push. You want to know who you really are? Strip everything away. Take away the comfort, the motivation, the support system. What's left? Are you still hungry? Are you still grinding? That's who you really are. That's your truth. Life will test you. It'll rip away your crutches. It'll take the people you leaned on. It'll take the job, the comfort, the identity, all of it, until you're standing in the dark with nothing but your own damn heartbeat. And that's where you build something dangerous. That's where you decide, do I become a victim or do I become unstoppable? Discipline doesn't need luxury. It doesn't need praise. It just needs a decision, a non-negotiable contract with yourself that says, I don't fold. I don't quit. I don't disappear when things get ugly. I rise. And that decision, it's not made once. It's made daily, hourly, sometimes every damn second, because the storm doesn't let up. Life will keep swinging, and you've got to swing harder. You've got to own the suffering. You've got to use it like fuel. Say to yourself, this is my edge. This is where others quit. This is where I double down. Every missed meal, every sleepless night, every failure. They're not setbacks. They're reminders. They remind you to tighten up, to dig deeper, to keep swinging. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for the right mindset or the ideal environment. There is no perfect time. Now is the time when you're tired, when you're lost, when everything feels like hell. That is the battleground where discipline is born. You've got to learn to operate with nothing. You've got to become dangerous when your back is against the wall. You've got to be the kind of person who doesn't need ideal conditions, because you create your own storm. You walk into adversity and say, let's go. That's what separates the disciplined from the dreamers. Dreamers talk, discipline acts, dreamers wait, discipline executes, dreamers want a good day, discipline builds a legacy in the middle of hell. So if you've got nothing right now, good, perfect, that's your forge. That's your call to arms. Don't run, don't retreat, stand up, straighten your back, breathe the pain in and get to work. Discipline isn't about doing things when it's easy. It's about doing them when it's hell. When you don't feel like it, when no one's pushing you, when everything inside you says stop, and you still move, you want to build something unbreakable, then start where you are. Start with nothing. That's how monsters are made. Earn your silence. You want to know the loudest people on the planet. The ones who haven't earned a damn thing yet. They talk the most, post the most, flex the most, and behind all that noise, nothing, no work, no grind, no scars, but the ones who have really been through it, the ones who suffered, bled, trained in the dark. They don't talk, they don't need to, their silence speaks volumes, their presence hits like a punch. Because real work doesn't need to announce itself, it just shows up and dominates. That's the kind of person you need to become. Not the one screaming online, not the one chasing attention, but the one who disappears into the grind, into the darkness, into the pain, and earns their silence. You don't get silence for free. It's not a mood. It's not a mindset. It's something you earn through pain, through repetition, through isolation. You don't get to sit in silence with peace until you've fought your demons in the trenches. Until you've earned the right to be alone with yourself, without shame, without regret, without needing validation. Because that's what silence is. It's peace with your choices, peace with the suffering, peace with the days you didn't quit, peace with the war you waged against your weakness. And most people want to skip that. They want silence but don't want to earn it. They want rest without work. They want confidence without commitment. They want peace without the process. But that's not how this game works. Silence is expensive. It costs everything. It costs early mornings. It costs broken bones. It costs lonely nights and zero praise. It costs going all in when nobody believes in you, not even yourself. It costs saying no to comfort and yes to every single hard thing you don't want to do. You think peace is soft. You think silence is gentle. No, silence is savage. Silence is what's left after the fire burns away all the weakness. Silence is what remains when you've bled so much for your future that your past can't even recognize you. You've got to earn the silence where you can sit down alone, look in the mirror, and respect who's looking back. You want real peace, then fight your battles, the ones inside your head, the ones no one else sees. Win them every day without posting it, without bragging, without asking for applause. Just win. The world's filled with noise, fake hustle, loud talkers. Everyone's a boss until it's time to suffer. Everyone's a king until it's time to train at 4 a.m. alone. No cameras, no music. Just the echo of your own breathing and the voice in your head saying, keep going. Earn your silence in that moment, not with your words. Not with your social media story, with your actions. You've got to suffer enough that peace becomes your reward, that quiet becomes your prize, that being alone isn't scary anymore, it's sacred. Because you know what it cost you to sit still with power. You don't need to tell people you're working. They'll feel it when you enter the room. You don't need to broadcast your comeback. Your results will do it for you. You don't need to convince anyone who you are. You'll show them by staying consistent, staying obsessed, and staying silent. Let your silence be loud. Let your scars do the talking. Let your presence be your resume. Let the way you move shake the air without saying a damn word. But first, go earn it. Wake up when you don't want to. Train when it hurts. Focus when the world is distracted. Stay consistent when motivation dies. Show up when no one's cheering and keep showing up. Again and again and again until you don't need to say a word. You'll know when you've earned your silence. You'll feel it, not in your ego, but in your soul. You'll walk into a room and not need to prove a thing. Because savages don't need to talk. They show up, do it alone, listen. If you've made it this far, you already know this ain't some fairy tale. This is war. This is blood. This is what it means to become something that cannot be broken. This journey, it's not about crowd support. It's not about likes or hand holding. It's about going deep into the cave of your own mind, dragging your weaknesses into the light, and killing them off one by one. It's about building discipline when there's nothing left. It's about using solitude as your gym, your fire, your forge. The world doesn't owe you anything. And that's a beautiful thing, because it means you owe it all to yourself. And once you stop waiting for people to save you, you realize you are the damn savior, not a guru, not a coach, not a friend group. You will do it alone, because that's where the power is. You'll run in the dark while others sleep. You'll grind in silence while they post. You'll train in the rain while they wait for perfect conditions. And when you fall, you won't beg for help. You'll crawl, limp, bleed if you have to. But you'll move because the mission doesn't stop when it gets hard. That's when it starts. So take every ounce of pain, every doubt, every ounce of loneliness, and use it. Let it burn. Let it harden you. Let it sharpen you. This world is filled with noise. Be the silence that shatters it. You don't need hype. You don't need a crowd. You don't need applause. You just need one thing, the mindset that says, no matter what, I will do it alone.